In this video, I want to show you a forehand power test. So this power test is a great way to work out a couple of things. Firstly, it's going to help you work out whether you should be trying to hit your forehand hard in matches, because if you fail this test, there is absolutely no reason to try and hit the ball hard in matches. You're simply not ready to do that yet. But it's also going to help to identify a different problem, because if you are able to pass this test, but yet when you're playing matches, when you're rallying, you make far too many errors when you try and hit with power, it points us to a very specific problem. So I'm going to explain what that means. Hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be awesome if you give me a thumbs up. And it also really helps me out if you could subscribe to my channel as well. Okay, let's get into it. So the test itself is really simple. We're going to be trying to work out whether your kinetic chain is able to efficiently create racket head speed and power. If it isn't, then we know that we need to do some work on that. If it is, then we need to focus on a different problem. So all you need to do for the test is just drop feed yourself and try and hit it hard. So just dropping it in front, hitting with power. Can you get the ball to land in? And you want to be able to do that a high number of times in a row. So just 1 out of 10 isn't good. You should be able to do that 9 out of 10 times, or at least 8 out of 10 times. Because if you can't do something that many times out of 10, it's a bad strategy to use it in a match. But you want to test kind of a neutral stance lower ball. You can also test different variations of an open stance. Again, are you able to create racket head speed and power and still get the ball to land in with, a high degree of consistency? So as you can see, it's a very simple assessment, but it's also very effective. By dropping the ball in front, we're removing one of the most challenging variables in tennis, which is reading the flight of the ball and starting your swing at the right time. And now we're looking at your kinetic chain. So you want to test that open stance, neutral stance, maybe with some different spin options, and see what happens. If you are able to do that, 8, 9 times out of 10, it tells you that your kinetic chain is functioning reasonably well. If you're not able to do that consistently, 8, 9 times out of 10, it tells you that your kinetic chain isn't functioning well and you need to continue to work on developing your kinetic chain. Now, if you're the type of person whose kinetic chain is functioning well, but when you rally and when you play points and play matches, you can't hit with power consistently, it points to a different variable. It points to the problem being with reading the flight of the ball and starting your swing at the right time. Now, there can be different reasons that happens. If you're new to tennis, it's always going to happen, because in order to read the flight of the ball, you have to have seen thousands of them. So if you've only been playing tennis for 1-2 years, that's the problem. But if you've been playing tennis for a period of time and you're still not able to hit with power consistently, even though you pass that test, it tells you that your visual system isn't functioning well. Well, it maybe tells you that you're not practicing very well, but it's most likely pointing to your visual system not functioning well enough to allow you to read the flight of the ball. To help you with that, you can actually train your visual system. So I've created a free Tennis Vision starter program to show you a number of different exercises to start to address this underlying problem. I'll place a link to the free program up there, and I'll place a link to the free program down in the description so that you can start working on that and improving the visual skills. So that's what you want to do if you pass the test and you're not able to hit with power consistently in matches. If, on the other hand, you aren't able to pass the test, again, it's a question of how new are you to tennis. If you're new to tennis, just keep on doing what you're doing. It's a process. It takes time to be able to do this and to hit with power. If you've been playing for a long time and you still aren't able to pass this test, it basically tells you that you're not coordinated enough to do what you're trying to do. You're not coordinated enough to sequence the kinetic chain and develop higher level technique. If you would like to address that, it is something that you can do using brain-based training. I've got a class that's going to teach you more about that. I'll place a link up there, and I'll place a link down in the description so you can go through that class and learn more about it if you're interested. But hopefully this simple test assessment makes sense to you. Go out on court, give it a go, see how you get on. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, was it more to do with the sequencing the kinetic chain? Was it more to do with the vision? What did you find? And yeah, hopefully it's been useful. If it was, give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you next time.